What's going on, guys? It's Jono here, and today I have something super special to share with you guys. It's about how you can automate the entire cycle of booking clients. So if you guys are dealing with clients whatsoever, specifically if you're dealing with appointment setting, then this video is for you, because I'm going to share with you guys how you can fully automate that process, how you can fully automate confirmed appointments, how you can fully automate no-shows, cancellations, all of that kind of stuff. And here's the crazy thing, right? Like, you set it up, maybe it takes you 20 minutes, and you're probably going to be saving between 5 to 10 working business days every single year, just because instead of you having to manually type out text messages or emails, trying to get them back in to reschedule appointments, or giving them notifications about the upcoming appointments and saving a lot of headache by people forgetting about it, you can automate the whole process so that all you have to do is show up and speak with the client. So if that sounds like something you guys are interested in, let's dive right into it. So in front of me, we have GoHighLevel. For all of you who don't know what this is, it's a CRM. Although it probably has one of the most unappealing landing pages, it's actually super powerful software, and I use it for everything. So I'm absolutely in love with it. And in this tutorial, we're going to be using GoHighLevel to automate all of these steps. So once again, the confirmed appointment step, the no-show step, and the cancellation step in GoHighLevel. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to create a new workflow, and we're going to start from scratch. The first workflow we're going to want to create is essentially the confirmed workflow appointment. So we're going to title this confirmed test, and we can go ahead and choose a trigger. Now, a trigger is just a fancy name for saying that it's the start of an automated sequence. So how do we start the sequence? Well, it's when an appointment status is confirmed. So for example, when you go in, you're going to choose appointment status, and you just want to make sure that when the appointment status is confirmed, this workflow is automatically going to trigger. And we want to make sure that it triggers in a particular calendar as well. So if we go in, we can select the test demo purpose calendar. I actually just created this calendar here. So in the settings tab of GHL or GoHighLevel, you can just click settings down here. You can go into calendars, and then you can just create a calendar. And I just made a simple calendar for this demo purpose, but that's essentially all you have to do. And once you have that calendar created, you just want to make sure that you select that, right? So that it fires when somebody books an appointment on that particular calendar. So we can go ahead and save that. And this is going to be the first workflow. We can go into the settings and make sure that allow reentry is activated in case you have multiple appointments with that particular client. And we don't want to enable stop and response. So for this particular workflow, because we have clients that we're sending information or messages letting them know as reminders that they have an upcoming appointment, if they say, hey, thanks for letting me know about our appointment tomorrow, you probably don't want to cancel it, right? Because you still want to send a text message, let's say 30 minutes before the appointment, just reminding them, hey, I'm going to give you a call in 30 minutes, right? Because if you have the stop and response here, then what's going to happen is essentially it's going to stop sending any new messages in this workflow. So we're not going to have that checked off. I like to have the time zone be the contact time zone, and just make sure that we're specifying a time window so that we're not messaging them at like 2 a.m. in the morning. I mean, you might be super excited to talk to a client, but I doubt that you're that excited to talk to a client. So we'll just choose a reasonable time frame, like 8 a.m. till 5 p.m., Monday or Sunday to Saturday. And yeah, that's essentially it. And then we'll go back to the builder. Okay, so once we have this set up, what we're gonna do is we're going to essentially have a email send out to the particular person. And we're just gonna make sure that they know that their appointment's been confirmed. So we can go ahead and we can have from user full name, and we're also gonna put in user email down here, so that it's sending from whoever is assigned as the user on that contact, and it's sending from the user's email. And then we can just say appointment confirmation, and then ABC company. Let's just assume this is your company here. That's all you have to do, right? And you can just say, hey, contact first name. You can put the custom values here, contact first name, and then you can just put in your full name here. So we're going to go back over to user full name. It's, in my case, it's Jono. I just I just wanted to confirm our appointment on, and then for the start time and the end time of the appointment, there is custom values that we can use here. All you have to do is go into the calendar, oops, not the calendar, the appointment section here, and then you can just put in the start time. So our appointment on, this is gonna be like 4 p.m. So instead of saying 4 p.m. here, we essentially wanna say start date at 4 p.m. So what this will translate to is like Tuesday at 4 p.m., right? So that's kind of what it'll look like when it actually sends the client. It's just gonna automatically pull those custom variables from the appointment that they scheduled. Okay, so I just wanted to confirm our appointment on Tuesday at 4 p.m. I'm super excited to chat with you then. And then there's a couple more custom parameters that I'd use here. It's really up to your personal taste, but what I like to do is I like to give them the option to cancel and also the option to reschedule here. And these are all custom links you can put here. So you could just say, if something comes up, feel free to cancel or reschedule here. Okay, perfect. And you can even hyperlink this. You can say cancel my appointment, and we can copy this link here, and then we're just going to hyperlink it. So we'll go ahead and, where is it? There we go. Okay, we'll put that as the URL, and that's gonna cancel it. New window. So new window is just going to open the, when they click on the link, it's going to open that link in a new tab. We can go ahead and delete this. And then we can also have a call to action, reschedule my appointment. And once again, we'll create a link out of this and we'll hyperlink it to the appointment reschedule link. So when they click this, they have the option to reschedule their link. Not reschedule the link, reschedule the appointment. And then lastly, what I like to do is I like to just give them the option to add this to their calendar. If you haven't done so already, you can go ahead and add this appointment to your calendar here. Okay, great, same kind of deal. In the appointments tab, we have add to Google Calendar, and we also have add to iCalendar or Outlook. So once again, add to Google Calendar, we can have the text there with the hyperlink to Google Calendar. Okay, and then we'll set that up in a new tab, and then add to Outlook. Okay. Awesome. So this is essentially our first email here. So we have all of the custom parameters set up so that they can cancel, they can reschedule, they can also add it to their calendar, and they know that they have received a confirmation at the day and the time. We can go ahead and finish off this email saying, you could say, I hope you have a great Tuesday or whatever, but the problem, like that's what I usually like to do with my emails, is just give the day of the week here. Because most people scratch their head being like, there's no way that could be automated. But in this instance, even though you could do that by saying like, and this would come out to like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and so on and so forth. But that appointment could be booked for later today. So instead of doing that, you can just write, I'll chat with you soon. Best, and then you can put in your name down here. Okay, perfect. Awesome. So that's your first email, right? And this is going to send out pretty much immediately. What I like to do is have a wait here for 1 minute. And the reason I like to have a wait here for 1 minute is because say you actually go in and you add that appointment in this calendar and you're like, oh crap, like I made a mistake. You can go ahead and you can actually delete them out of the workflow here by just clicking this X, and then, pretend this is the workflow that we just we entered them into. It's the appointment confirmed workflow. You can go ahead and cancel it, and they're going to be out of it, right? So it's nice to give yourself that like kind of wiggle room in case you don't want to send an email that you didn't intend to send. And also one other thing here is that we can just assign the user. So if it hasn't been assigned to somebody, you can just go ahead and you can assign it to yourself and make sure only apply to unassigned contacts. So if nobody is assigned for that contact, you can assign yourself or somebody else, and then the person you assign it to will come through and with their name, with their email, with, you know, all of that kind of stuff. So that's just going to make sure the workflow is bulletproof so that you're not sending emails to somebody. And this is so freaking embarrassing when I did this in the past. And believe me, I've done this way too many times. It's like shameful. But it'll be like, hey, first name, hey, Sandy, it's blank. And it's like, oh my God, that's so freaking so cringeworthy. But I've done it. Please don't make that mistake. Just make sure to always assign somebody to every single workflow so that that doesn't happen to you. Now you can go ahead and add one more wait step here. And instead of a time delay, we're gonna have event opportunity or appointment time, and we're gonna set it to before. And what I like to do is just 1 day before. 1 day before, we're just gonna copy this email, bring it down here, and we're just gonna send them an email, right? And you can just quite simply just say reminder appointment tomorrow, and ABC company, and it can be like, hey, contact first name, it's Jono. I just wanted to confirm once again our appointment tomorrow at this time. And then you can say, let me know if that still works for you. You know, it's up to you guys if you want to include this. I usually don't include this after the first email, just because, like, you know, if somebody's already booked an appointment and it's a couple days out and I had to sacrifice that time on my calendar, I don't really want to give them the option to cancel. I mean, they can just go back to the first email and cancel, but you know, at least if they're going to cancel, I want them to reply to me just to give that extra friction point to minimize the amount of people that are flaking. And then I'll chat with you soon. Best first name. Okay. And I also like to send internal notifications to myself as well, which is super nice just because, like, you know, if you're dealing with tons of appointments and you got a million things on the go, it's also nice to receive notifications personally for upcoming things as well, because sometimes I forget. I'm like, oh crap, like I got this appointment, you know, so it's just nice to have that as well. So I typically like sending myself notifications. In this particular instance, I'm not gonna do that right now because this is a day in advance and I don't wanna receive a notification for an appointment a day in you know, from now. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna choose wait one more time. And we're gonna do event appointment, and we're gonna do 30 minutes before. And see this, guys, this is super important. Skip all outbound communication actions to the next wait or event start date action. This is super important that this is checked. So essentially what this means is, like, let's say somebody books an appointment for that day, right? It's the same freaking day they book an appointment with you for. And what's gonna happen is it's gonna skip over this email, right? It's gonna skip over this email because this wait step is supposed to send it a day prior to the appointment, but the appointment's in 4 hours. So that day mark has already passed. So we're gonna skip over that day mark and we're gonna go to the next thing. And for this wait step, let's say technically if they booked an appointment 5 minutes out, it's also gonna skip over this one. But you wanna have a buffer room on that appointment that you created, or that calendar that you created, so that people cannot book, you know, within a certain time frame. So what I like to do is have a buffer, let me just see here, a buffer of at least, you know, 4 hours, like for me. So they have to schedule at least 4 hours from now, so that gives me enough time. You guys might want to put days or whatnot, but I usually like giving people the option to book 4 hours ahead, but that kind of mitigates people booking right away. But yeah, so anyways, that's why it's super important to have the skip outbound communication actions, so that you're not sending the wrong email, you know, a day before the appointment when they actually booked for 4 hours before the appointment. And then 30 minutes before, what we're gonna do is we're gonna send out an SMS to the client, and we're just gonna say, hey, contact first name. So, hey, contact first name, it's And then you can just go, oh, see, this is exactly what you don't want to do. Hey, Bob, it's Bob. You want to make sure that you assign it to the user. Okay, perfect. So user, first name, hey, Bob, it's Jono from ABC Company. Just wanted to touch base to let you know that I'll be calling you in 30 minutes. Chat soon. Okay, perfect. So you can go ahead, you can send off that text message. And then what I'd like to do is just have one last wait step here. And we're gonna go back to the event appointment time. We're gonna choose 1 minute before, and we're going to essentially call ourselves. So what this is gonna do is essentially when it's a minute before, it's gonna call you and connect you into a call with the client. So you just have to pick up the phone. In this call whisper section, you can type a message so that when you pick up, it's gonna tell you a message. So in this instance, you could say you have an appointment with contact full name. Please press any key on the keypad to connect into a call right now with, and then we'll just go ahead and choose the contact first name. Okay, perfect. So you're gonna pick up the phone. It's gonna say this message to you. You have an appointment with Bob. Please press any key on the keypad to connect into a call with Bob right now. You click any key on the keypad, connects you into a call. Perfect. Okay, so we have this confirmed workflow done. Awesome. So that's like the bare bones of probably what you want to do. The only other thing is just an internal notification here that I like to send to myself. So you could just do like an SMS, and then you could do assigned user, and you could just say, hey, assigned user, which would probably be you or maybe somebody on your team. You have a call appointment with, and we'll go ahead and choose the contact full name in 30 minutes. Please call them at, and I like to put the phone number of the person in, because a lot of the times, like if you have 30,000 or 50 or 100,000 people in the CRM, and you're not at the office, and you have to pick up your phone and use it, and you're scrambling to find this contact and you're running late, it's just nice to have that phone number in the text message so you don't have to search for it. You just have it right there, right? So we'll go ahead and choose phone number. Okay, perfect. So that's it. This workflow is done. Awesome. So we got the confirmed workflow finished. Now what we have to do is set up the cancel workflow and the no-show workflow and the invalid workflow. These are all going to be combined into one workflow, so that to set up this whole automation, we only need two. Okay, so let's dive into the second one here. We're going to click back out of this, and then we're going to go create another workflow. We're going to start from scratch again, and this time we're going to call this cancel, no show, invalid. Okay, so we need 3 triggers here. So appointment status is going to be canceled. And we just want to make sure that we're selecting the right calendar again. So in calendar, we'll choose test, demo, and we'll call this canceled. Okay, perfect. Oops. Canceled. Awesome. We'll save that. We'll create another trigger here. And this is going to be called, so we'll do appointment status again. And we're going to choose, let's see, appointment status is, and in case you guys can't see it, this is going to be no show. And the last one here is it's going to be in calendar. And we're going to choose test demo. And last appointment status is going to be invalid. Okay, sweet. And once again, we just got to choose the right calendar here. Test. Okay, perfect. So the reason why we have these 3 in one workflow is just for one setting here, which is we want to stop on response, right? So when we are dealing with the confirmed workflow, you don't want to stop it on a response, right? Because you want to send out messages. Even if somebody says, hey, great, I'm super excited to talk to you tomorrow. You don't want to cancel it. You don't want to remove that text message sending out 30 minutes before the appointment. But in this workflow, your goal, your call to action is to essentially get them to reschedule an appointment with you because they either canceled that appointment or they no-showed, right? And if they canceled or no-showed, the CTA or call to action is to get them back on the phone with you, right? And the goal of this whole workflow is for you to spend 0 seconds having to call, text, or email so that they automatically rebook at a more convenient time for the two of you, okay? So in that instance, we just wanna make sure that if you're sending out text messages to them being like, hey, you know, why didn't you reply to me? If they reply back to you, it stops and it doesn't keep sending the same message over and over again, asking them the same question. Okay, great. So we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna save this, and we're gonna have to refresh this page. The reason why we're refreshing it is just because it didn't, like, we have to create a if or else sequence here, and it's not gonna load in these different triggers. So what the hell does that even mean? We're gonna use this if or else step, and the conditional name is going to be workflow condition. And this is going to be the canceled workflow. So if they entered this workflow, this canceled workflow is canceled, then they're going to go down this path, right? Now, I just need to go back and change the name here to invalid so we can read this clearly. Canceled, and this is no-show. Okay, perfect. So we're gonna have 3 different paths that they can go down. The first one is gonna be the canceled path. The second one is gonna be the no-show path. So we'll do workflow trigger is no-show, and then the last path is invalid, and workflow trigger is invalid. Okay, perfect. So essentially what this means is if they entered this workflow because they canceled the workflow, they're gonna go down the cancellation path. If they entered this workflow because they no-showed, they're gonna go down the no-show path. And if they entered this workflow because they were marked as invalid, then they're gonna go down the invalid path. Now the invalid path is the simplest. It's just gonna be removed from this workflow. So essentially, you'll notice here that there's no actual, and I'm just gonna hide this so you guys can see, there's no actual delete here, unfortunately, right? So the next option, the next best option is the invalid, right? It's just gonna invalidate the appointment so that it's essentially rendered deleted, right? So because you don't have the delete option, we're just gonna use invalid in its place. And when somebody is marked as invalid, essentially they're just out of the workflow. They're going to be removed from the cancellation workflow, the no-show workflow, and the confirmed workflow as well. Okay, awesome. So that's great. And what we're going to do for the other two is we're actually going to copy these over here as well. And we just want to make sure that when somebody either cancels or no-shows, it removes them from the confirmed workflow appointment, right? Because you don't want to have conflicting messages going out being like, hey, I'll see you at this time. Also, why did you cancel this appointment? It doesn't seem, it's not a good pairing together, you know what I mean? They don't really go super well together, so we're just gonna make sure we go ahead and delete that. So confirmed test, we're gonna delete this, and confirmed test, we're gonna delete it again. So confirmed test. Okay, perfect. Awesome. So we'll go ahead, we'll save that. And what I like to do is for the cancellation workflow, I just like to wait like 4 minutes to make it seem like it's not an automated text going out. And then what I'll do is I'll just send an SMS to the client just saying, hey, client first name, I just saw that you canceled our appointment. I hope everything is okay. Is there a more convenient time for us to chat? You can book an appointment here. Okay. Awesome. We can go in, we can choose from the appointment tab here, or we can choose from the calendar tab, the user tab, pardon me, the calendar link, and this will link them back into the appointments. You can book an appointment here. Okay, great. Once again, guys, we just want to make sure that we have the assigned user just in case to somebody right? Very rare, but let's just say you mistakenly add them to this workflow and they just get entered into it. Even if it sends a message, you just want to make sure that it's sending from a particular user. I've done this enough times to know that it's a mistake not to always have an assigned user on any single workflow that you build up. Okay, perfect. So we have this. Awesome. That's great. You can even customize it a bit more. So I just saw you canceled our appointment, and you could be like on, and you could do appointment on start date on Tuesday at, and you could do start time. You know, I hope everything is okay. Maybe even you want to throw in an emoji in here, smiley face emoji. I always throw in emojis in my messages. It just makes it, it's personal preference, obviously, right? But it just makes it seem a lot more friendly, right? Especially on a message. Oops, that definitely didn't copy. Okay, let's try that again. It just seems much more approachable in my opinion, right? But once again, put your own spin on it. And then, you know, you can just wait and then send them an email. What I like to do is maybe wait a day and then send an email. And once again, similar call to action, right? You're just going to make sure that you have the user full name and also the user email in here. And then you can just put appointment ABC company. Okay, awesome. So I'm not going to get too far into this, guys, as to, you know, what exactly to say. So I'll just cap it off at one email. But essentially, the premise here is that you can kind of go through the process of just trying to pull them back in to book another appointment by sending out different text messages and emails. You can even use GoHighLevel to send Facebook messages or Instagram messages or WhatsApp messages if you have that set up as well. So just whatever you can. And what I like to do is have a cadence that gets progressively further out as time goes on. So the first message I send immediately, the second message I like to wait a day, the third message I like to wait 2 days after already waiting a day on the second message. So cumulatively it's 3 days since they canceled the appointment, and so on and so forth. So the wait sequences go from 1 day to 2 days to 3 days to 4, 5, 6. So progressively gets further out the more stale they get, right? And you know, the later on it gets to, like, sometimes people change their minds and they're actually ready again. So it's always nice to kind of reach out later on as well, but it's just going to have much lower conversion rates. Okay, so let's go back here. Let's just finish up this message. Hey, you know, contact first name. And then you can put user full name in here, or user first name. Reaching back out again. Just wanted to see if you wanted to reschedule our appointment for a time that's more convenient for you. Okay, best, and you can put in your full name here and your calendar. Here's my calendar link. Okay. Man, this typing is not working out for me right now. Cool. So your calendar link here. Okay, perfect. So once again, wait time can go longer. It can be progressively longer. So we can just go ahead in 2 days and rinse and repeat. Now, same kind of deal with the no-show workflow. We can go ahead and copy this over here. And we're just going to change the wording ever so slightly. So it could be, hey, you know, contact first name. We're just going to change this. We're going to say this. I just tried giving you a call, but it went to voicemail. If you have a moment, feel free to give me a call back. Feel free to give me a call back if you'd like to reschedule for a more convenient time. You can do so on my calendar here. Okay, perfect. Okay, awesome. And then rinse and repeat, same kind of deal. We're going to progressively start waiting in intervals that get progressively longer every single time. So once again, we've got to change this to a day. We shouldn't be sending that out a minute apart. Okay, cool. And we're gonna change this email once again. Okay, reschedule appointment. Hey Jono, it's hey Bob, it's Jono reaching back out again. I'm sorry you couldn't make it to the appointment tomorrow or yesterday. I'm sure you're super busy. And then I always just like sympathizing for them. I hope that everything is okay on your end. And then just wanted to see if you wanted to reschedule our appointment for a time that's more convenient for you. Here's my calendar link. And then you can always throw in have an amazing, and then use the right now day of the week. So it'll be like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So it doesn't seem as automated. You can click save. And once again, you just kind of progressively building this out further and further and further. Last step here that we want to go over is we're just going to go back and make sure that on the initial workflow, the confirm test workflow, this removes them from that other workflow. So the cancel, no show, all of that kind of stuff. So we're going to go ahead and remove the person from another workflow. No show workflow invalid. Okay, perfect. So what's essentially happening here is that in either instance, if the client has a confirmed appointment, it's going to remove them from the no-show or the cancel or the invalid workflow. And then if they either cancel or they either no-show or the appointment becomes invalid, it's going to remove them from the confirmed workflow. So they're working kind of harmoniously together, and it's really just going to mirror wherever that customer is in their stage of the appointment setting, right? So this is how you can automate the whole process at any stage of the game, right? And it just makes everything so much easier instead of you having to either send out these messages yourself, whether they're emails or text messages, or you're just sweeping them under the rug and you're like having a lower conversion rate because you're not just doing the work that should be done. This is going to save you tons of time. It's going to increase your conversion rates, and overall it's probably going to make your business go better. So thank you guys for watching this video. I hope it helped. If you like content like what we shared in this video today, please hit the subscribe button down below, hit the like button as well, share it with some friends. If you have comments, please submit them down below, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.